So we'll start with prayers. We can discuss a bit about the previous class. If you are able to remember anything that we discussed, you can share those points. So we will visit the chapter and the shlokas about mind. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityanandam Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Rama
Hare Rama Hare
Rama
Rama
Rama Hare
Rama
Hare
Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Hare.
Kam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim nitkripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. Okay, so before going into discussing about the mind, can you all put in the chat what was the takeaway point from the last session? We talked about the soul, and what else you remember, something that stayed? You can raise your hand also, I can unmute and okay. Yeah, we'll keep it brief. Yes, Vanaja Mataji.
Yeah, we discussed about the soul, how the body will is not permanent, and we discussed more about the soul and passes from one material body to another body, just like we change the dresses, like soul will take the another body.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's a nice point. That's a memorization shlok also. Okay. Harish Prabhuji. Yeah, soul will be eternal, body will change. Soul passes from one body to another. Okay. Anything else?
I remember you gave an example that how a child will know what is right and wrong if he has the knowledge. So, in the same way, if we have the knowledge by reading the Gita, we know what is right and wrong, how our karmas should be, so that we do not pass from one body to another and uh, receive the love of God.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you, Sonal Mataji. Katie Mataji.
Mataji, this is Raj.
Sorry. Yeah, Katie Mataji, you can go.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so everything we learned that we learned that every adding to it that soul is permanent, the body is just like a garment. So in overall, our needs, desire, emotions, relationships are all bodily needs, so not soul needs. So these are all temporary. This is all superfluous, and this is all Maya.
Okay, thank you. Raj Prabhu?
Yes, ma'am. I believe like Katie Mata pretty much covered what I was going to say.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm in the same sync. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, nice comments. And whatever a person thinks at the time of death, their next life will be like that. Thank you, Disha. We are not the body. Soul cannot be destroyed by air, water, fire. Soul is unborn. Like super soul, we are existing all the time. From Sureka Mataji, thank you. The soul is eternal and does not get affected by material body. Yes, Santosh, Prabhu, Pankita, and Nikunj. I have a question about soul getting new body. What if we want liberation? Okay, I'm addressing that now. Kali Yuga chanting is very important, Durgesh. Thank you. So I have a question. Soul getting a new body, but what if we want liberation? The very goal of discussing this knowledge about the soul and transmigration of the body is to make a solution to that. We should want to get out of it, because otherwise, it's a endless and meaningless travel from one dream to another dream. So we should be very clear and determined that we should want liberation. And if we want liberation, what carries actually the soul from one gross body to another?
Desires.
Okay, desires, right. And where are the
Unfinished
desires?
business, unfinished business or karma,
Yeah, karma, desires.
soul contract.
Yes. So we have karma, we have desires, and where are all of them?
Attachment, attachment,
Okay, attachment. All of them are from where? Yeah, better to raise hands so we
Subtle
can
body,
hear.
the mind.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's from body. It's not from soul. That's a good comment.
It's from mind, that is subtle body. Subtle body is mind, intelligence, and false ego. And this is the caravan that takes us from one body to another body. That's why if we don't work on what we don't like in ourselves in this life, pretty much we are going to carry the same attitude and behavior in the next life too. Okay, so but when the mind is filled with spiritual desires and there is no more karma, karma bank is nil, that's when we get liberation. Yeah, living in this material world is for getting liberation only. So that's what Bhagavad Gita we are focusing. That it's not, we have to get liberation, but it is it's not it's a marathon, not a marathon of one lifetime. If we are how much serious we are, that much marathon we can run in this life. Then whatever is left, we run in the next life, and so on. So it's very important. We are first we need to know why we should get liberation and what will we get after liberation, and we need to desire and be determined. So that's what we are building us in.
Mataji,
Okay.
I have a question. We leave physical body, not subtle body, right? When the
Yeah.
body changes the garment, it's physical body we are talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Mataji, karma becomes nil when we offer each karma to Krishna, right?
Yeah. And not only that, we'll see how what we do. Krishna says, "Na sarva dharman parityajya." That's the end of the Bhagavad Gita shloka. We'll come to that. Slowly, he explains, even in the 4th chapter, how the knowledge and uh, situated in the boat of the transcendental knowledge, how even if we are the most sinner of all the sinners, we can cross over the material miseries. So Krishna is saying, Durgesh Prabhu, how to get rid of your past karma. We cannot get rid of that because it's only a one-way path. We cannot get rid of that ourselves, but Krishna can get us rid of our past karma because he has that capacity. And that's what he's saying, that the end of the shloka, the end of Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Raja. If you surrender to me, I will deliver you from all past karmic reactions, and Ahantvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchaha. He says, do not doubt. We will come to that shloka in the few sessions. Yeah. And also throughout also he's saying various things what we can do to get rid of our past karma under his direction. Okay, last question from Asha Mataji. Would you like to? Yeah. Are you able to unmute?
Hello.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yes, Mataji.
Yeah. I just wanted to share this, Mataji. My aunt passed away this Sunday, and so I just went back and I was reading all the purports, and I was able to understand, like rereading that when someone passes away, how they talk about like how our deepest fear is annihilation and that they are gone forever. But then how Krishna says no one truly disappears. So with this, like my takeaway was my aunt's essence did not actually end, and it was only a chapter that was closed. So that really helped me.
Wonderful, Asha Mataji. You are from Asha Mishra, right? Did we connect or
No.
message?
Yeah, I did send you pictures of my family and we spoke about my
Right.
son.
Yeah, Philadelphia.
Yeah, from Philadelphia. Yeah. So that was my takeaway. Thank you so much, Mataji. It really did help me.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for the practical point. Okay. Oh, okay. So we will begin today as a very interesting topic about mind. Those who have attended the 18-day for the first time, and this is your second session, these questions are for you. The others, who are attending, they may know the answers, but so we'll hold on and we'll give them a chance. Do you remember which chapter did we touch upon the mind? In which chapter does Krishna say about the mind? Chapter 8, good guess. Chapter 7, that's also a good guess. Yeah, Nirmala Mataji. You got it, but you are attending the second and third time, so yeah, Katie also. So it is chapter 6. So you may ask, why are we not going chapter by chapter? That is our goal. But if we catch some concepts and some, many questions will be answered in our journey, then we can come back and do chapter wise. So we'll go to chapter 6, text 5. We'll recite this shloka. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Uddaret Atmanatmanam
Daret Atmanatmanam
Natmanam Avasadayet
Natmanam avasadaye
Atmaiva Hyatmano Bandhur
Atmaiva hi
Atmaiva
atmano
Bandhur
Atmaiva Ripuratmanaha
Atmaiva
Atmaiva
ripuratmanaha
Uddared Atmanatmanam
Uttare
Atmanatmanam
Atmanatmanam
Natmanam avasadayet.
Natmanam
Natmanam
Avasadaye
Vasadaye
Atmaiva hyatmano bandhur.
Atmaiva
Atmanivehya
Hyatmano
Atmano
Bandhur
Bandhur
Atmaiva ripuratmanaha.
Atmaiva
Atmaniveritmanaha.
Ripuratmanaha.
Okay, so can someone read the word by word and the translation? Yeah, Didipya Mataji, would you like to read?
Yes,
Everyone else
Mataji.
can go on mute so that there is no disturbance in the class.
Uttaret, one must deliver. Atmana, by the mind. Atmanam, the conditioned soul. Na, never. Atmana, the conditioned soul. Avasyadayet, put into degradation. Atma, mind. Eva, certainly. He, indeed. Atmana, of the conditioned soul. Bandhu, friend. Atma, mind. Eva, certainly. Ripu, enemy. Atmana, of the conditioned soul. One must deliver himself with the help of his mind and not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well.
So, before going here, we'll go to where this verse is in Bhagavad Gita. So we can read a few verses in that context and then can come back here. So here, he's talking about 6th chapter. The title is Dhyana Yoga. And he talks about how one should perform yoga, what is yoga, like that. And then he's talking about the mind in text 5 that we just read. So you might see the same word Atma. Atmana is by the mind. Atmanam, the conditioned soul. Atma here is mind. And of the soul. So Atma is one word, but it is translated differently. So we'll read the purport. Yeah. Can someone read? Okay, Dhara from Toronto.
Hare Krishna. The word Atma denotes body, mind, and soul, depending upon different circumstances. In the yoga system, the mind and the conditioned souls are especially important. Since the mind is the central point of yoga practice, Atma refers here to the mind. The purpose of the yoga system is to control the mind and to draw it away from attachment to sense objects. It is stressed herein that the mind must be so trained that it can deliver the conditioned soul from the mire of nescience. In material existence, one is subjected to the influence of the mind and the senses. In fact, the pure soul is entangled in the material world because the mind is involved with the false ego, which desires to lord it over material nature. Therefore, the mind should be trained so that it will not be attracted by the glitter of material nature, and in this way the conditioned soul may be saved. One should not degrade oneself by attraction to sense objects. The more one is attracted by sense objects, the more one becomes entangled in material existence. The best way to disentangle oneself is to always engage the mind in Krishna consciousness. The word He is used for emphasizing this point. That is, that one must do this. It
Yeah.
is all okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
So the same thing is mentioned here also. Mind is a cause of bondage and mind is a cause of liberation. Mm. So mind is a very subtle thing to handle, right? And mind runs behind the objects that gives pleasure to the mind. And yeah, so in this sloka, he's explaining it even more. Why one must deliver and one must not degrade. So we might question, how can we deliver ourselves with the same tool that we can degrade ourselves also? So Krishna is answering this. Let's recite this verse also. Bandhur atmatmanastasya
बन्धुरात्मात्मनस्तस्य
yenatmaivatmana jitah
येनात्मैवात्मनाजितः
येनात्मनः
anatmanastu shatrutve
अनात्मनस्तु
अनात्मनस्तुषत्वे
शत्रुत्वे
vartetatmaiva shatruvat.
वर्तेतामेव
वर्तितामेव
शत्रुवत्
शत्रुवत्.
Yeah. So he's saying, for him who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. For one who has failed to do so, his mind will remain the greatest enemy. So we can see, one more verse, which is on the what is the result if one has conquered the mind? Jitat manah prashantasya
चितात्मनः
आत्मनः
प्रशान्तस्य
शान्तस्य
paramatma samahitah
Paramatma Samahitah
परमात्मा
sitoshna sukha dukkeshu
Shitoshna Sukhadukeshu
tata manapamanayoho.
तथा
Tatha
मानमयोः
Manapamanayo.
For one who has conquered the mind, the super soul is already reached, for he has attained tranquility. Please mute yourself, devotees. To such a man, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all the same. That means they don't disturb him that much. Happiness and distress, heat and cold, and honor and dishonor. I'm going to mute everyone. And then I will have to. Okay. So the mind is a powerful vehicle. If you see Hanuman in when he was going to find Mother Sita. See, we know Ramayan, so it's easy for us. Okay, Sita, Ravana took Sita to Lanka. Lanka was not even the Lanka that we see at this point of time close to Indian subcontinent, close to the southern tip. No. Lanka was actually in the Vedic, in the Bhagavata cosmology, that's why it said Hanuman flew over 800 miles. The Jambudvipa in the center is covered by the saltwater ocean, and Lanka is described as as an island in the saltwater ocean, which is not accessible to the beings in the earthly planets. So that is the description. That's why, Ravana, all these demons, they make their location in such a way that it's very, very difficult to reach. So his half brother Kubera was there. After Ravana got all the powers, he came and told Kubera, "You get out, I want this place." So he made it fully of gold. So it is impossible to reach. So it was an impossible task, actually. They didn't even have an idea where Sita was until Jatayu's brother, Sampati, the huge eagle. So he is a celestial eagle, of course. So he could see, uh, I mean, so far. So he's coming to eat the monkeys, and the monkeys are telling that, "Oh, look at this eagle. We are all going to be eaten by this gigantic eagle, but this eagle is very different from Jatayu, who had helped Lord Rama." Hearing his brother's name, Sampati was asking, what happened to my brother Jatayu? Then they explained that how Ravana cut off the wings and Jatayu died and Rama did the final rites. And so then, oh, you're all looking for Sita. Then with one vision, Sampati could say that Sita is in Lanka. That was the first clue that they all got. And then, Sampati, because of the service that he did, he flew up and he went away. So now, where is Lanka? How to go? Then the geography they found out, and then they are coming into the formidable ocean. And how to cross this ocean? Hanuman had forgotten all his powers. Then Jambavan told him that you are the only one who can cross. And then, chanting the holy names of the Lord, he crossed. And then there was a duel with Lankini there. Then he goes inside and he sees everywhere. He has seen every room in the palace of Ravana. I mean, the Lanka at that time, the description was very much like any modern city's downtown nightlife. So demoniac quality means they are awake so much in the night. They take their first bath in the night, and then they are fully intoxicated. All these things he's seeing, and he has seen everywhere, all the rooms. And he is a brahmachari himself, but he's doing this service for to find Sita. So looking at each and every lady's face. So even then, Hanuman was not a bit perturbed. 'Cause that was, Manojabam Maruda Tulya Vegam. By just, thinking about Hanuman, one gets that mental power. But he also, when he did not find anyone close to Sita, then he started thinking, oh, I flew all the way across and I've combed Lanka everywhere. And nowhere I found Sita. Probably Ravana killed Sita. And if I'm going to go back and tell the monkeys that Sita is not, I didn't find Sita in Lanka, then they will all die first. Then we have to carry this news to Rama and Lakshmana. Then Rama and Lakshmana also will die because Sita is no more, then how will they live? And if they died, then Bharata will die. Then the mothers who are living a life, Kaushalya, everybody will die. This was what was going on even in the great Hanuman's mind. He was, that's what Sundarakanda explains, that he was dejected a little bit at that point of time, but he thought about his spiritual master, thought about the Lord's lotus feet, and again he chanted the holy name of the Lord in prayer. And at that time he saw, oh, there is one garden, um, um, Ravana's personal garden that I have not seen. Probably she's there. Then he went there and Ashok Vatika, and he found Sita there. So mind has a power to destroy us. It's not an ordinary thing. So this is the nature of the mind. If it is controlled, then it goes according to the direction. Right? Early morning we get up and we think, okay, I have planned so many activities in this day. But we'll end up spending time in things that are not priority in the list at all. Not even priority, not even in the list. Because something we saw, okay, some post in social media, some scrolling, okay, 5 minutes I have relaxation, let me see this. 5 minutes will become 50 minutes. Or we will end up doing something that is not very urgent, very priority, but which is required after a month, but we will miss out on the thing that is so urgent and is required tomorrow. So we can see ourselves practically being dragged even from small to biggest things, right? So how can the same tool be our friend as well as our enemy? If we ask the question, is the knife good or bad? What would be your answer? Can write in the chat. Have you gone to trips and you wanted to cut a fruit? Both. Yeah. Very desperately, we'll be looking for knife. We have forgot to pack the knife. Yeah, based on how you want to use it. It is, of course, dangerous, but it is very much required. Without it, how to cut a fruit, how to cut vegetables, how to open a, you know, many times we have this shampoo sachet packets, and if we forget to open it, then it's impossible to cut it. We need a sharp instrument. Example, in a surgeon's hand. Without knife, how they can do this life-saving surgery. It's a very important tool in the surgeon's hand. It's a life-saving tool and it's very important. But at the same time, in a miscreant's hand, it's very the worst, because he could do whatever he wanted with it. So a few months back, we saw this in the, it became viral in social media also. In the Charlotte train, there was one lady from Ukraine. She escaped all the war from Ukraine and came here. And there was a person who was sitting just next to her. He was in the CCTV, it is shown that he was very restless. He was seeing here and there. Suddenly he gets up and stabbed this lady to death. Instant death. So that much powerful the knife is. And finally they found out that he is a mentally diseased person and he should not even be in the train. That's what Trump said. But yeah, that's the power of the mind. Mind, uncontrolled mind, that's why Krishna is saying, is our enemy. It's our own selves. It's easy to disguise somebody else as our enemy uh, when they do something good, or something that's conducive, or something that is detrimental to us. But when we ourselves do something that's very bad to us, that's what mind can do, right? Lack of confidence. You've come across many situations like this. Oh, what will I do tomorrow? How will it go? What will it do? Unnecessary. A small thing is blown up into a huge balloon. Like, for example, sometimes we have to take an interview or a final test or a competitive exam. The main thing that we need to be taken care of is having confidence, but that lack of confidence will be the biggest problem, 90% of the problem to face. And because of that, you see depression, it's so common now. And the more depression tablets are taken, the more the cycle continues. Because it's not, it could, to some extent, it's connected to the hormonal level. And, we need some medical help, but that's not the only way. Mind has to have medicine in another way. Same way, doubt. Doubt is again the function of the mind. This happens between friends, between family members, between two families. The trust, one family, we may be friendly with each other, then suddenly there is a lack of trust, because all this is coming from the mind. Why did he do like that? Why did she do like that? It's because of like this. Because so many things go on in the mind that we don't dare tell it out, or we can't tell it out, and then the pressure mounts like this, right? We feel like sometimes we are crushed under a heavy stone that nobody can lift us, and it will be in such a way that we will not let anybody help us also, because the mind is so heavily conditioning us that you are done, you are doomed now. So this is why an uncontrolled mind can be the worst enemy. There are other enemies, but none can be as worst as an uncontrolled mind. All these things, to some extent or the other, to some degree, we all might have faced in some situation. And then we see this coming back again and again to show that that's why Krishna is taking this topic, Arjuna, that if we don't take care of this, then we are in a vicious cycle that we cannot escape ourselves. It looks gruesome, but it's true. We just open the paper and see how many shootings, family. Few years back, 11th or 12th grader, he shot all his family members and himself also. This is very common. So uncontrolled mind does many things that is very bad to oneself. See, always entertainment, because mind seeks pleasure, right? But then we tend to procrastinate what we actually have to do, and finally it comes as a big thing. I read a quote that procrastination is like a credit card. You don't feel when you swipe it, but you feel when the bill comes. And quarrels and gambling, especially, gambling is so much. I didn't think much about gambling, but the whole Mahabharata is based on this. Even a righteous person like Yudhishthira, how he can be pulled into this quicksand called gambling. Uh, One of my friend was sharing this, that how her parents, they had come from India, and one day they went to play in the casino and they won 9,000 US dollars. So what happened then? Oh, that's a place where we can get easy money. Money is honey for everyone. We all work hard for that. So when somebody gets a feeling that that's a place that we can get easy money, then mind goes again and again. When is the next time I can go there? When is the next time? That's the only time that they won $9,000. But the next year he lost, $70,000. And they are elderly people. Their sons and daughters are here. They have come for visiting, and then their whole life savings are gone, and the elderly person went into depression, because gambling is an addiction that rips ourselves out of our resources. So how hard it could be, right? And so many instances we see. Vaping is bad everywhere. They teach even in high school, but when they go to colleges and universities, all the vape stores are around the university only, wherever the college students are between 16 to 21. They say under 20, you should be 21, you should show your ID card if you're 21 to get this. Because at 21, kids start thinking about their liver, what happens to their lungs, what happens to their brain. But then between 16 to 21, they're already gotten into this. And vaping is promoted as flavored air. That's what they say. They never say that that has nicotine. And once, even after knowing so many things, it is so attractive to the mind. And once we get into this, very difficult. A person cannot sleep without getting into this. So this is how, uncontrolled mind can lead us. This is our journey, a jerky journey every day, going from each horse going in one direction, chasing after one sense objects, and the mind is going behind one sense that is more powerful for one time, then to the other sense. Intelligence is gone, and the passenger is hardly able to sit because it's such a bumpy ride. So this is what we saw, the chariot of the body. So mind plays a very crucial role. It connects the senses, the physical body. The first, the touch of the physical body and the subtle body happens in the mind. So we saw that how the soul is the passenger in the chariot of the body, intelligence is the driver, mind is the driving instrument, and senses are the horses. So how does the mind work? It's a storehouse of thoughts, unfulfilled desires, and previous experiences. There are some fulfilled desires also, but which we will soon be forgotten. We will hardly ever thank the Lord that, oh, I had this desire and you had fulfilled it. But every time we have only the list of unfulfilled desire, and that list keeps on increasing. If a person is 80 years, he has so many unfulfilled desires. Then, with this desires and impressions, we carry this in the next life and the previous experiences. And it's also storehouse of thoughts. Thoughts keep popping up in the mind. The intelligence is a filter. Intelligence allows only some thought that is good if the intelligence is in good condition, right? It's a decision maker. And from the mind, the command goes to the senses. uh, Somebody wants to eat something good, then the command says, okay, to the um, working senses, okay, let's go to this restaurant and have this because I had a desire to have. I'm feeling like having this curry, or this taste comes in my tongue. So then the hands and legs work to drive the car, go there, order that. So we see how everything is at the starting point is a thought, and that thought only uh, you know becomes either a demoniac, or we can become sattvic also. So if this thought is based on lust, anger, and illusion, then it degrades and entangles. But if this is based on the dictation of the super soul, because we are not in that level to follow the dictation of the super soul, we only at this point of time, we have come to understand, or even theoretically, we know the knowledge that we are the soul, and then the super soul accompanies that. It's a long way to be able to hear the dictations of the super soul. For now, the dictations of the super soul are the book Bhagavad Gita. So we read it again and again and know thoroughly what the Lord is telling. That's why this is a practical book. For those who don't want to, get into all this, they can't even touch Bhagavad Gita. They will stand away, worship, do everything, give donation, sponsor, but they can't open and read because it is demanding that practice, a page by page. It is demanding that honesty, that, we can't be a hypocrite. We can't read Bhagavad Gita and not try to follow that. But if we do that, then it elevates us. So let's go back to chapter 6. So after After telling about the mind, Krishna goes on to tell about the Satchakra yoga, and he's telling for this yoga, first of all, you should go to a secluded place. To practice yoga, one should go to a secluded place and should lay kusha grass on the ground and then cover it with a deer skin and a soft cloth. The seat should be neither too high nor too low and should be situated in a sacred place. The yogi should then sit on it very firmly and practice yoga to purify the heart by controlling his mind, senses, and activities and fixing the mind on one point. So this is where to go to a secluded place. We have, I mean, in the Kali Yuga, it's not possible. But Krishna is, telling this for all the ages, and also after he explains this Dhyana Yoga, or the different stages of Ashtanga Yoga, and finally how one can attain Samadhi. And yeah, he gives the general principles. From wherever the mind wanders due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must certainly withdraw it and bring it back under the control of the self. Because at least now theoretically we know that the passenger is where who has a remote control or a control. So with that knowledge, he can do that. And finally, after all this, Arjuna is saying this. Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, the system of yoga, which you have now summarized, appears impractical and unendurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady. Then Arjuna is telling this. Maybe one of you unmute and repeat after me. The others can repeat in mute. Okay. Prasad, Prabhu, you can unmute. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna
Chanchalam hi mana Krishna
pramati balavadridam
pramati balavadridam
tasyaham nigraham manye
tasyaham nigraham manye
vayur iva sudushkaram.
vayur iva sudushkaram.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
So, Chanchalam is flickering. He certainly, Manaha, mind, Krishna, O Krishna, Pramati, agitating, Balavat, strong, Tridam, obstinate, Tasya, it's, Aham, I, Nigraham, subduing, Manye, think, Vayoho, of the wind, Iva, like, Sudushkaram, difficult. The mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong. O Krishna, and to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind. So, there is one teacher, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. You can look him up in the YouTube, Chaitanya Charan Das. So he is giving a very nice example of how mind is restless like a child. If you see 2 to 3-year-old child, very rarely, one in so far of all the children we have seen, maybe 1 or 2 is restless. I mean, 1 or 2 is quiet. Almost 98% are restless because from one thing to another thing to another thing to another thing, like a toddler. So mind also goes from one thought to another thought to another thought. The child is restless because restless means if we want to do something, then the mind will think about something else. For example, we want to chant. At that time, the mind will say, oh, you have to do this work is pending, this we have to do. And then while we are doing that other work that's pending, mind will say, oh, you have to chant. What is the use? You're doing all this and not chanting. That's called restless. We want to do something, but when we do that, the mind is not in there. And turbulent is like a bully, right? Very turbulent means turbulence is what? Like if we get caught up in turbulence, we know that the plane. Everybody say you buckle up, you put the seat because it is just shaking. Similarly, mind is also like that in a whirlwind. And we have now, like, we have no say in that. We have to put the seat belt. We'll also go up and down in that. Very turbulent, very violently going from one thing to another thing to another thing, from past to present, and from what we want, what we don't want, like that. Obstinate, uh, 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 persistent, right? Obstinate is like, uh, there's a drama, me and the mind. And first, the mind will propose something. Oh, let's go to for example, if a student is studying tomorrow, somebody else has the exams are over, then he will put a chat. No, I'm playing this video game, would you like to join? First the mind would say no, 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 no. But again, that thought will come second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time, until we are grounded. It's like leech sucking the blood. If we have to take the leech away, we need to cut that part of the skin. It's very difficult to take that away. So obstinate, so stubborn. And mind is very strong, like a powerful bully, somebody weak. In the dead of the night, you're walking. One devotee was telling that he missed the flight and he was walking and he found two tall, hefty fellows, in the dark, looks like they're carrying a gun. How it will be? They're coming close by, and this person is walking towards, they're coming running towards him. So there's no way. I mean, the mind is so strong, and for millions of lifetimes, we have given ourselves the power of attorney to the mind. So because the mind we carry now from one life to another life to another life to another life. So for all this, restless like a child, turbulent like, very violent like a very powerful person, who's the enemy, bully, like a bully. Bully is what? They want to make that person feel miserable. Mind does that to us. Oh, I should have done this. Oh, I am bad. I am not, especially comparing with others. I am not like this person or that person. I don't have these qualities, or I am not, blessed with a good family like them. So many negatives. That's why it's obstinate and very strong. So the mind is so strong and obstinate that it sometimes overcomes the intelligence, although the mind is supposed to be subservient to the intelligence. Even for a practicing yogi, for us, mind is always 100 times, overcome by the, intelligence is overcome by the mind. So this is what we read. Atmanam ratinam viddhi shariram ratam evacha buddhim tu sharatim viddhi mana pragraham evacha. Indriyani hayan ahur vichayam steshu gocharan atmendriya mano yuktam bhokteti ahur manishinaha. This is from Kata Upanishad. The same passage. The individual is a passenger in the car of the material body. Intelligence is a driver. Mind is a driving instrument, and the senses are the horses. The self is thus the enjoyer or sufferer in the association of the mind and senses. So it is understood by great thinkers. So Arjuna is saying that I cannot, it's difficult to conquer. So what can we say of a modern man? The simile used here is appropriate. One cannot capture the blowing wind, and it is even more difficult to capture the turbulent mind. That is why we need this mantra. Okay, so let's see what is Krishna saying. One of you can unmute. Raise your hand. I can unmute you. Okay, Vanaja Mataji, you can repeat and others can repeat on mute. Shri Bhagavanuvacha
Bhagavanuvacha
Asamshayam Mahabaho
Asamshayam Mahabaho
Mano Durnigraham Chalam
Mano Durnigraham Chalam
Abhyasena tu Kaunteya
Abhyasena tu Kaunteya
vairagyena cha grihyate.
वैराग्येन च गृह्यते.
Thank you. Mataji, you can read the synonyms. Okay, I'll read. Sri Bhagavanu Vacha, the personality of Godhead said, Asamshayam, undoubtedly, Mahabaho, O mighty armed one, Manaha, the mind, Durnigraham, difficult to curb, Chalam, flickering, Abhyasena, by practice, Tu, but, Kaunteya, O son of Kunti, Vairagena, by detachment, Cha, also, Grihyate, can be so controlled. Lord Sri Krishna said, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment. So Krishna is first agreeing. Asamshayam means no doubt. O mighty armed one. Mahabaho is addressing Arjuna. Mano durnigraham chalam. It's very difficult to control the restless mind. He didn't say, leave it, Arjuna, you don't need to control. Abhyasena tu kaunteya. It's possible by suitable practice and by detachment. Practice means what? Every day, right? Even one day, if we leave the practice, we are down by many notches. Even with the bodily gym, right? They go to the gym, they have the strength training exercise. But if even yoga also the same thing. If we leave practice, the body it's like a spring, it coils back. Then what to speak of the mind? Without practice, how can we control the mind? Okay. The difficulty of controlling the obstinate mind, as expressed by Arjuna, is accepted by the personality of Godhead, but at the same time, he suggests that by practice and detachment, it is possible. What is that practice? In the present age, no one can observe the strict rules and regulations of placing oneself in a sacred place, focusing the mind on the super soul, restraining the senses and mind, observing celibacy, remaining alone, etc. So this was all the part of the yoga system, real yoga system that Krishna said. By the practice of Krishna consciousness, however, one engages in 9 types of devotional service to the Lord. The first and foremost of such devotional engagements is hearing about Krishna. This by detaching the mind from activities not devoted to the Lord, one can very easily learn Vairagya. Vairagya means detachment from matter and engagement of the mind in spirit. Okay, yeah. So, first, he says that one engages in 9 types of devotional service to the Lord. That is Bhakti Yoga. In comparison to the Ashtanga Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, even from the beginning, is very easy and very pleasurable to do. Like Krishna is talking about himself in Bhagavad Gita, talking about us, talking about mind, right? He's making sense. He's making logic. He's presenting to us something which which is quite interesting if we want to know. Okay, he's clearing the path, clearing the doubts that is clouding the mind. So that's why first we need to hear. Then what is the detachment? Detachment means detaching from the mind from activities not devoted to the Lord. Like if we know some activity is not good for us, even so far, we have been the victim of the mind pulls, we will go. But now, after reading Bhagavad Gita, knowing even a little bit, we can understand when we do some activity, especially we know, right? I don't know if you all have experience. From within the conscience is something like the voice of Paramatma. Conscience is not mind. Conscience is, we know in what is right and what is wrong. We could hear, oh, if I do this, this is bad for me. The inner voice, Paramatma speaking, that is conscience. And then, okay, with the help and of spiritual wisdom, then we can stay away from detachment from matter and engagement of the mind in spirit. Okay. Uh, So, yeah, 36 also we'll read. So he says, for one who has, why we have to control the mind, Krishna is concluding this. For want of time, I'm just reading. Oh my God, it's already 10 past 11. Asamyatat mana yogo dushprapa iti me matihi vashyat mana tu yatata shakyo vaptum upayataha. For one whose mind is unbridled, self-realization is a difficult work. But he whose mind is controlled and who strives by appropriate means is assured of success. That is my opinion. So Krishna concludes that if mind is unbridled, even material world activity is difficult. Not to speak of self-realization, right? But if there is a process to control the mind, and it is not going to happen overnight, but without giving up, if we practice, then he's saying one is assured of success, right? So that is Krishna's opinion. So we'll see what is the 9 uh, processes of devotional service. How we can change the mind. That's the main topic today. Because what is there in our mind and thought only comes out as actions. But if we change the mental script, then we can change the habits, right? Habits are addictive, we know. Same way, everything, finally. So habits are addictive, but the same way to come out of the habit also, it should come little by little, but regularly. So, I mean, it's important to read. What we are spending 1 hour a week is not at all enough. Basically, for the previous batch, I keep two times a week or so, but then many couldn't come, so it's been 1 hour a week. But throughout the week, we all should be reading. Whatever we read now, we should take time and effort and read. Instead of scrolling, we should scroll the lines in the paper. It's good for the eyes also and good for the intelligence. So what habits make us, like what we are made of, is all this. What music we hear, what movies we watch. If a person is keep on watching horror movies, terrorist movies, then that's what is going to be in his head. What else he will do, right? And we are known by the company we keep. So we need to watch all this, whether all this is good for us or not. Some music may be very good, but the words and the meaning, give us a different kind of pleasure, which may be detrimental to ourselves. Then we have to rethink, right? So because what is going in is going to come out. This we know, Gigo principle. We are only going to be that kind of a person what we absorb from books, from movies, from social media. This was done long back, so social media is not there. From Instagram, from Facebook, from TikTok. So we watch them. We see, what is good for me, I do it. So that's why this again, the same ABCD works here. practical tips is we need to take some good things, go to the temple, do some practical service, or hear from Bhagavad Gita, read Bhagavad Gita, analyze it ourselves, and prayer, that is the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. It only takes 20 minutes in the beginning. One round takes 10 minutes. But if we do that every day, uh, that gives us such a spiritual advancement that even so many yajnas and homas cannot give. Such a mental clarity, right? And books, of course, at least one shloka, but I would say at least 3 shlokas. If we aim at 3, at least we'll end at 1. If we say 1, then we'll maybe read half. And then we see that we eat prasadam, something we are offering to Krishna every day. And prasadam is nothing but the mercy of the Lord. That fruit that we have offered to Krishna has the mercy of the Lord. It's when it comes back, it's not the same fruit, but it is the mercy of the Lord. And we need to continue to do this practical devotional service. And that's why Krishna says by suitable practice and by detachment, one can control the mind. And by doing that daily, what we'll get is we'll get a spiritual satisfaction that we can experience. But this has to be done daily. Daily read, chant 2 rounds and read at least 2 shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. We'll see that our clouded mind and intelligence is getting cleared. So these are the 9 process of devotional service. We are out of time. We can talk about it the next time. How these 9 processes, this was told by Prahlad Maharaj to his father Hiranyakashipu. He's telling he knows his father cannot even stand the name of Vishnu. But Prahlad Maharaj, 5 years old, told his father that these are the 9 process of devotional service, bhakti to Krishna. So we'll see that next week. So through mantra meditation, we can burn away the bad habits very clearly, because it brings us the power of the soul. The mantra connects us, the soul, to the super soul, and then the mind can be easily rid of the addictions. It's like this, the sun cannot burn the paper, but if through a magnifying glass, if we concentrate, focus the sunlight, the same sunlight can burn the paper, right? So similarly, the focus, the more we focus, we see that the more we, reach to the deepest, darkest part of the mind, and that is cleared. By chanting the holy names of the Lord, we will get power to do what we want to do. So Srila Prabhupada demonstrated this. He came at the age of 70 to US, and he was the only person. Everyone was Americans around him, but he was just giving them this Mahamantra, chanting in a park for 5-6 hours. And then they all found that this is so nice. How nice it is that I can feel. They all felt happiness. They don't know anything about Krishna or what this mantra also nobody knows. But that mantra is a medicine. Whether we know how, we don't need to be a pharmacist or a doctor for the medicine to work on us. We just need to take the medicine. We don't even have to know how the medicine works. But if we take the medicine works. So similarly, mantra meditation is also like that. So please join us in the morning. I see some of you joining. Thank you very much for that. But please, let's make it as a practice. If weekdays is not possible, then weekends at least make an effort to keep an alarm and join and chant. Then we can see that it's, no, we are not doing the reading, but we'll continue with these classes. So this class, the homework would be the 2 shlokas that we discussed. I'll post them in the group and also send the audio. Please memorize it and put your audio in the group only. 2 devotees had done that. Very nice. So we are making an effort to repeat the shlokas that is told by Krishna, which is very, very powerful. And it doesn't matter, we are old, we cannot memorize, it's nothing like that. However old we are, our memory we can memorize if we try. So we'll try to repeat and memorize, and please post the shlokas as a homework and read these purports of the 6th chapter, um, especially, leading to from what Arjuna says, what Krishna says about the mind, and what he tells about the yoga, and how Arjuna says it's impractical, and what is the solution that Krishna gives. At least that part, go through the purports, and we can, please make a habit of reading. So we'll conclude here with prayers. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. So if we have any questions, I don't have much time. I don't want to drag these sessions also, but maybe for next 10 minutes we can take. Some people have a sixth sense where they able to intuitively get to know some things that are not explicitly said to them. If this is true, what exactly sixth senses? It is kind of intuition related to past karma or previous life, etc. Actually, when we were in Toronto, and there was one person that was invited for my husband's off work ceremony for I don't know whether it was for Christmas or something, and he's not a Siddha or Babaji or no Godman, but he said that in the he can point out anyone, and he would tell what they're thinking or what they did yesterday, or something like this. He would ask them to think about it first, but whatever they thought, he was able to say. And it was like a presentation for, I think, for 2 hours with various different people. And everybody said, I mean, everybody cannot lie. And, he's not giving money to, they're all colleagues. So they know what it is. I mean, they cannot be fooled. And he was able to tell what they're thinking. Something like the different things. So you see, this is science. We don't know the science now because we are so grossly involved in matter only. But some people have the science of reading the aura, because we saw right, when we are thinking like a bubble, it's coming out like this. When we are thinking something, we put like a bubble. Basically, the thoughts make the aura. something called aura. I don't ask me. I don't know how to do that, and I don't want to know also, because already with one mind we are having so much problem. If we start to read others' mind, we can't be sane at all. So the point is, it's a science. We don't know about it, but some people knew uh, how to take the thoughts from the mind. So it's common, but if we don't know, then we will, in India, if somebody has done that, he would have made crores of money now, because he would have opened an ashram, opened an island, and stood for election, become a everything would have happened if he has this skill. So yeah, so it's a way, it's an education, it's a science how to read the mind, and some get it, but it's not that important. It's only a more garbage from others' mind. Already we don't know what to deal, how to get rid of the garbage in our mind. But it's good to know that this is just a kind of a science, like a medical science. A doctor may know, seeing the pulse. Ayurveda, they can see the pulse and they can say what is wrong, kapha, vata, pitta, what. And the doctor can look with the steth and he can say, right? We don't know, but a person who has studied the medical science, for them, they know how to say. For a layman, we don't know by touching the stomach, they will tell if you experience pain here. Exactly, the doctor will touch the place where there is pain. How? This is a science they have learned. So similarly, manipulating the thoughts or knowing the thoughts. Knowing the thoughts is one thing, but another thing is manipulating the person to think in such a way. Some can do that as well. Yeah. Thank you. What is the benefit of waking up at 4 a.m. and completing 16 rounds of chanting compared to someone chanting their rounds during the day or night? Okay, what it is said is, the more early you wake in the daytime, in the morning time, for those of us who are chanters in the morning, also we have realized that some rounds that we chant in the morning now, the mind is so undisturbed. During the day, there are so many things that we have to do, and so many impressions already we have in the mind. So we have to battle all that to focus the mind. But morning, the mind is fresh. And also, that's the time when all the sages are awake and they are chanting. So that's what I said. They give the blessings for us, and it becomes very easy to chant in the morning. The amount of effort that we put for focusing in the morning is very less compared to what we have to do as the day go pass by. But still, it is not a must that one has to chant only in the morning, especially the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. It can be chanted anytime throughout the day, but for more effectiveness, it is good to chant in the morning. But first of all, we need to practice getting up early. So slowly, it's a slow transition. We can do that. But that's what is recommended. You see, if we go to ISKCON temple, their first Aarti is at 4:30 a.m. In all ISKCON temples around the world. 4:30, the Lord is open. 4:30, not in the afternoon. Morning 4:30. And then their japa time starts 4:30 to 5:15 will be Aarti, Mangal Aarti. And then 5:15 to 7 or 7:15 will be the japa time that they chant at that point of time. Then they continue with the Darshanarti like that. Whatever possible we can do at home, we can try. Sometime our mind tells to do something we are not sure of. Like, I went with my gut feeling. What is that really like? And what prompts us to think like that? Is it mind controlling? Okay, gut feeling is you tend to pick up something and you don't know why you picked up. Rational reason we don't have. But the mind has some impression before. And with that, we picked up something, right? Like if you're driving on a, say, Christmas or New Year week break, and everybody is on the roads, you're driving, and then you have two options, either to take this highway or that highway. The map says both, but you had a feeling, okay, I'll take this. So we make some choices like that, but those choices are also based on some experience, some impressions in the mind before. We may not remember that or explicitly know that, but with that, we go. And yeah, that's called that. It cannot be explained why you choose that. That's why it's called a gut feeling. It's again a thought from the mind only. Mind often pretends as intelligence to fulfill its own desires. How can we distinguish between the two and overcome the mind's influence in those moments? Yeah. Mind actually, what to say, puts the intelligence in the jail and locks it up and takes the key and plays with it. So that's what you say. Very nicely you said that. Pretends as a intent to fulfill its own desires. Many times it is like this. How can we distinguish between the two and overcome the mind's influence? That means we need to make intelligence stronger. If when the mind is proposing something, if intelligence is deaf and dumb, then mind will drag the intelligence wherever it goes. But if the intelligence is having spiritual wisdom, okay, this is right and this is wrong, and I have read it many times, and I want to follow this. Okay, that this has to be a regular practice. That's why reading Bhagavad Gita and contemplating on it should be every day, regular. When we do that, then what happens is we are strengthening our intelligence to defeat the mind when the mind says something that we know it is bad for us, but the mind will push us to choose that, as if like that's what Arjuna is asking. What is that force that is pushing me to do something that's bad for myself? That's because mind has been covered by strong desires and strong impressions from the previous lives to take that path. But if that has to be stopped, then intelligence has to be strengthened, and also mind also should be strengthened to listen to the intelligence. How that can happen? By chanting. By chanting, what we do is we tell the mind, shut up and listen to the sound now. That's what we are telling to the mind. Mind will say, why should I listen to you? For millions of lifetimes, I am the boss, so I will not listen. But we should not give up. No, this is 2 rounds of Mahamantra I am chanting. 20 minutes, you have to listen. So this is a tug of war between us and the mind, the soul and the mind. But we do this every day, then the mind is practiced to listen to the sound of the Mahamantra. Then when the intelligence also strengthened with spiritual wisdom, the mind brings up a thought and intelligence says you should not do, then mind can be overpowered. We will be victims. It cannot happen, 100%. It cannot happen overnight, but slowly and surely, because Krishna himself is saying, right, if we do the proper practice, suitable practice, one is assured of success. So God himself is assuring of success, and he's saying that it is my opinion. So there is a hope that this can be done. Okay, devotees, thank you for your questions. Anybody else has anything to share? Okay, thank you all for joining, and it's very wonderful. So we'll discuss more. Please read, and if you have any questions, you can personally text me also or put it in the group. And please continue to memorize these shlokas. We have 4 now, and so we can try and build our cache of memorizing shlokas at least in the next 10 weeks, and so we can repeatedly recite that and strengthen our mind and intelligence. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we'll meet you again next week, Krishna willing, on Thursday. But we have homework to do throughout the day. Please chant and please read. And if you have chanted and read, you can update in the group as well that you have read this. So that will be a inspiration and a reminder for others to do also. We don't want any forwards or any messages that is not doing with the group. This group is, I know you're more focused and active, and so you can post something, your questions or what you read or that you've chanted in the group, especially those who are attending the first time. So like that way we can keep in touch throughout the week. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.